If a king cannot help us, who can help us? And what does it make him to a king? We have to talk about the truth. And the question is, what did he do in his life? Is King Charles a king of truth or king of lie? A lie.
Why?
Because he came to Germany, he speaks German, and he visited Hamburg, not Dresden. He should visit Dresden, because Dresden, there is happened real Holocaust.
Can you explain that?
Yes, I was at 27th of January in Auschwitz. This is the day of the liberation of Auschwitz. I live in Germany, and I am here to please the UK people to support us. The real Holocaust happened to the German people. Dresden, it was a Holocaust.
Who caused it then?
Who? That was the British Royal Air Force.
You think the Brits did the Holocaust?
In Dresden with the German people. 13 and 14 February 1945, almost the war was over, and they bombed the city Dresden in less than 48 hours. They only speak about 20,000 victims, but we had more than 300,000. That is the truth. All the powers, look how many million people come here. He has the army, he has the police, he has the media. He has to help us. If he doesn't do that, it means he can't, and he's not the real king. If a king cannot help, who can help?
How are you going to get his attention?
Like this, on Facebook. I know he knows me because I am the Messiah. I am the Messiah. I am the way and the truth and the life. He knows me.
You are Jesus Christ.
In the new way. Because I am the only one that talks about the real, most dangerous topic in the world. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody. All the people are afraid about this topic. Why we use oil?
Why?
Why? This is, UK is the motherland of capitalism. And the capitalism is the most bad thing for us. Only wars. Still now we are in a war with Ukraine. Why? After 2 world wars, I cannot believe it. After 3 years of Corona, can we do like nothing happened? Is it the real world? I think this is a lie world. The people love lie. They don't want to talk about the truth.
What is the truth?
The truth is the capitalism. The truth is the money. We don't need money. All the wars is about money, about the dollars. And the dollar say, in God we trust. And Jesus Christ, what did he say? You cannot believe in God and in money. You will hate one and love the another one. And it came like that.
The coronation.
Wow, the coronation.
The coronation.
Coronation, mate.
Great day there.
Yes.
Great time. Just fantastic.
Put the kettle on, mate.
God save the king. We love you, Charles. Yeah, we love you, Charles.
We love the royal family.
King Charles III, and we are getting ready for his coronation tomorrow.
Proud to be British, to be here, and it's nice to be really patriotic and all celebrate together.
Have you seen the people dressed up? I mean, we're nothing compared to the people who've made like a proper effort.
I'm a royal super fan all the time and support them, all the events, whether rain or sunshine. That's why I dress up, spend a lot of money. It's for him. Though I'm poor, but I'm making an effort to support them.
My father, my grandfather, and my uncles worked for the Duchy of Cornwall and therefore the Prince of Wales before the war and since the war. So we're extremely royalist trained.
I served my queen in the army for over 20 years. I'm now to see her son become king.
How old are you?
I'm 59.
I watched her coronation in 1953 on a little television that Dad had bought. And we had half of Taunton, that's in Somerset, in our front garden and in our front room, trying to look at a 6-inch television. And I was, 7 years old, 6 years old. And I remember it like yesterday.
I'm going to be praying for him because I can't go to the Abbey.
Oh, yeah, because the love comes from God. God said you should love our neighbor. They gave me a refuge to live in Great Britain. I can't turn my back on them. I'm not like that. I appreciate what the Brits are doing for me. I've been in this country for 3 decades. They opened their doors for me to live here. So I can never ever turn my back on them. Where you live is your home. It's not where you were born.
Praying that everything will go well, all the 2,000 guests. Procession will go smoothly. No mishaps, no accidents. The royal family, for God to protect them.
Living history is being made tomorrow, so.
To experience this like live rather than sat on the sofa like a potato watching the TV.
I just want to go back home and stay at the Ritz. Honestly, I'm so done with it.
I went past the Ritz this morning and I've got to go and have a meal there. I don't care what it costs.
This is our opportunity to be part of history. That was the clincher.
Long live our noble king! God save the king!
Modern England.
New modern England. Yes, that's right.
Camping here.
We are camping here. This is our camp.
Twister. They haven't just got the tent, they got a twister, man.
Why Twister?
So we can all get twisting.
What do you think is the best thing that he's done for England?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I see. So I don't know.
I've got to admit, I don't know, to be fair.
God save the king. That's a good tune, isn't it?
Oh, go on, Abby.
Behave himself. His father was rather outrageous in his comments, and Charlie Boy won't be allowed to say anything like that now.
I think the fact that his sustainability and the town he built, and also the castle in Dumfries, which he renovated, regenerated a whole town in Dumfries, employment.
The environment. He's doing a lot for the environment. Yeah, and making it a bit more current.
Oh, wonderful. Talking to the flowers. I mean, he was doing that when he was a schoolboy. No, I was a schoolboy. Hang on, this is going back 50, 60 years. They mocked him, and he's so advanced in preservation of our wildlife.
How graceful he was after his mum died, and how he faced the public, and he was grieving, but it's just lovely. He was still engaging with us, and I think it's just a hard thing. If I had lost my mum, I wouldn't be doing all that, and he was just so brave.
I think the Prince's Trust is his greatest legacy. When he first started the Prince's Trust, he was told, yeah, but you're going to give all these young kids money and they're going to run off of it. And he went, oh, yeah, probably quite a few will. He said, but some won't. And I was like, yes, that's the man. He's got the future in his hands, because at the end of the day, if you don't give people a chance, they're never going to get anywhere.
Surely you can name one. Come on.
I don't know. Tradition. Yeah.
Sorry.
Pomp and circumstance, tradition, and their duty to the country.
What's the importance of tradition?
It gives people a sense of identity.
It's where you come from. It's what you relate to. It's your history as a nation, as a person, as a family.
You've got to have traditions. You've got to be able to look back and say, this is where we came from. There might be good bits and bad bits. But at the end of the day, if you can't look back and see where you've been, then it's got a hell of a lot of trouble going forward.
I feel like the country's losing tradition.
The younger people that seem to be losing it.
This thing in my pocket has done a lot of damage. Mobile phones. They don't read the newspapers anymore.
From what I can gather, we've now got all this TikTok and all these social media platforms that we never had in my day. Younger people seem to be coming into contact with a lot of influences that they would not normally have done. And they're getting lots of things thrown at them. Basically, they've got to sit down and try and figure out in their own minds what is right and what is wrong.
I understand from talking to a few people that, they want to kind of do away with the monarchy, but it's such an institution and things are getting so far away from traditions. And I feel like that's an important part, especially one is with as deep history as the United Kingdom does, to hold on to and into the 21st century and beyond.
I would say a lot of Canadians are a lot closer to our royal family than a lot of people in our country now, because we've been diluted by other countries coming to live here, because this is the finest place to live. The Yanks are still very envious of us.
Yanks as in Americans?
Yes.
Do you think America would benefit from a monarchy?
Oh, God, no. No.
Why?
Well, we got enough corruption. That's just another thing that's going to get corrupted over there, buddy. It runs rampant through every facet of our government life, and I'm sure there's it happens here too, but I feel like the monarchy is not necessarily removed from that. No, an American monarchy would be, especially instituted today, would be absolute chaos.
The royals have had a tough time, just like our parliament in the last 10 years. And
would you give an example?
With parliament, I can, yes.
With the royals?
I would rather not. I'm a staunch royalist. My underpants are Union Jack. I wouldn't want to say anything that is derogatory to his good name.
I've got more favourable royals, but yeah.
Princess Margaret was a lovely lady, but she smoked too much. She died young. I got 8 broken joints from racehorses, hang gliding, motorbikes, getting drunk.
Hunting?
Well, I've done a lot. I've got my blood sports tie on. On here, you'll have the hare, the fox, and the stag. I did all these things, and being a veterinary surgeon, I decided to follow the hounds for deer. And after a season, I decided that I didn't approve. But fox hunting, definitely okay. Instant kill, they're vermin. Don't ever forget that. We've got off the subject of Charlie Boy.
Actually, he went to the same school as our children did.
He did. He went to Hill House.
They aren't taught enough about royalty at school. Because of economy, we've run out of money, and they've cut back on things that they think are not so important.
How do you feel about the LGBTQ community?
Oh, totally over the top. I am a veterinary surgeon, and with my cows, horses, dogs, and cats, you would see the wrong hormone balance. We're all born with testosterone and progesterone. I get very annoyed about it because we're all God's children. We should live with it. It's like the colour skin.
Hill House is the best school in London. Anybody that says otherwise is wrong. It is the best school. Our children are amazing. All the children that we know that have ever been to Hill House are amazing.
I was at a private school purely to get me into university, and Dad paid an awful lot of money. But I actually had a very broad education. Our school, Taunton School, had the first black head boy in England. Now, this is a story. When I was born in Taunton, American GIs were over the fence, the American hospital, and there were lots of Negroes. Because I was a big guy, I lost blood. I went black. My head went black, and they pulled me out, and I had black hands and black head. And my oldest brother, who was then about 5, he overheard the midwife, black head. And he ran down the hill in the village. Mummy's got a black baby. Mummy's got a black baby. And they still talk about it.
Quite a crazy story.
But I think I had some brain damage with that lack of oxygen, which is one of the reasons why I've had the odd problem in my life. I'm in love with Africa. I mean, I just love the Africans. I get on extremely well, but then again, I've got the education. It's ignorance. They're anti-royal. They haven't bothered to study the subject. And you find that they've done no proper investigation. And
just listening. I'm just listening.
Oh.
Just listening, not interrupting.
I've been talking rubbish. It's all right. Just saying how I fell in love with Africa. I crashed in the dark, in the middle of the Sudan war. I had malaria, and I was sweating and shaking, and they got me to a hospital, South Africa.
Brilliant.
I love Africa.
We have to have a monarchy because that is what makes Britain incredible. It makes us incredible. How inclusive.
We've always been a monarchy in Britain, because we've had over 1,000 years. It's a barrier, if you will, against the government. If the government ever goes too far, we've got someone who can say, stop. The British Armed Forces, we swear our allegiance to the King or the Queen of the country, not the British government, because the governments come and go, but the King or the Queen is permanent. And that's how it should be. We've had this in this country all the time. You see lots of conflicts at the moment in other parts of the world, and they're all either presidents or republics, or one man decides he was sick of the country, and another man decides, no, I want it. That's going on in Sudan at the moment, and that'll never happen here while we've got the system we have now.
Even if things are slightly tainted, would you say, is it better to evolve, or is it better to completely scrap?
Yeah, evolve. I think everyone needs to change, and the times change, don't they, as well? So you just move on with things rather than just scrap things and get rid of them if they don't work.
Not my king! Not my king! Not my king! Not my king!
The king.
A twat. A twat with knobs for fingers. It's not easy being me. Wash your face and brush your hair. Nag, nag, nag. It's not fair. I'm horrid Henry. And he's not horrid Henry, so he's not my king.
Who's your king?
Jesus.
Jesus.
He's the King of Kings, man.
So who are you celebrating today?
Jesus, man. That's why we're here. We're here to give out tracts that give out the gospel, which...
Why does it look like money?
Pardon?
Why does it look like money?
It's a tract. It's just a tract.
So
It's a tract.
people take it then, don't they?
Well, we come to say that Jesus is the King of Kings. He is the King of Charles. He's the King of Kings.
What do you believe in?
What I see from my own eyes.
And what do you see?
2 lads stood here passing me plastic money with Charles's face on it.
It's a gospel tract.
Can you pay your bills with that?
No.
We are anti-establishment and we think this is a big old vanity parade. We're just here to support the other people that think how we think.
Millions of people in the UK are not happy with it. Like, we've gone on this long. We've had countless of incidents of the royals being dishonest, of being incredibly corrupt, incidents of racism. And we're ignoring a history which is actually, at the end of the day, really damaging and destructive to British culture. Like, it doesn't reflect us. It just gets to a point where a lot of tourists look at like Americans, for example, they look at the royal family as sort of a privilege. They're really into it.
You got some big shoes to fill, buddy. Your mother was a great woman and did a lot of good for this country, and I know you have too, and I know you're going to try your best. And best of luck to you.
As a British person, I don't feel it reflects me at all. You know, I see like the wealth imbalance. I see like the amount of property they own here in London. It's just not fair, you know.
I think it's an absurd idea that just because of one's birth, one should be venerated and, you know, placed in the top of the hierarchy of human society. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The crown belongs to the people, not a person. I think that at the end of the day, we can all live in loveliness if we start to stand up for each other. And at the end of the day, I think we should replace the royals with dogs. Let's keep the pomp, let's keep the pageantry, but I want something cute in there that can unite the nation, not divide us. And at the end of the day, we'll get more jubilees, more coronations, and we can start to get this country back on track, my friend.
So the person that was supposed to be leading the protest and the march, I think they have been arrested early this morning. So that's why we're kind of stood here at the minute.
It is outrageous that Graham Smith was arrested this morning for a legal democratic protest.
Who is Graham Smith?
Is the founder and CEO of Republic. He was arrested this morning for a legal democratic protest against our unelected head of state.
So why was he arrested?
They have not given reasons. He was acting within the law. This is an outrage against democracy.
Did you call it suppression?
That, yes.
We were supposed to be in Trafalgar Square, but they're not letting us in at all. Even though it was agreed with police that we were allowed in and we were allowed to march, it's now been taken back and we're not allowed, essentially.
So you've been denied your rights?
Completely been denied rights. Even though we are being peaceful, it's all part of the institution.
So a democracy is a democracy because people vote for the laws that are instituted. This man is here by birthright, and I didn't have a say, and that makes it undemocratic and unfair. I believe it is a partial, flawed democracy, and the monarchy and the House of Lords being that very flaw. This man is literally the embodiment of class power.
And how would you solve this problem?
By not paying billionaires to do nothing, and by paying working people more.
Seeing a cost of living crisis where people can't afford to eat. This is an entirely unnecessary event. The king was already the king when he took over from Elizabeth II after her death.
There are people that literally live on the streets. They don't have any money. They don't get food. They don't have a place to go to. They're right now in the rain, probably trying to get some sleep. The disparity between the people and them is ridiculous.
They earn so much money, they don't pay any tax. And we are paying for this today, and it's 250 million. How many hospitals could you build? Come on, let's face it. And we're going for austerity. We've got no, you know, people are on their knees. They can't even pay their fucking bills. And we've got to pay for this shit. Flummery. It's all flummery. It's all flummery.
Wouldn't matter, cost of living crisis or not. Country's in debt. It's useless spending taxpayers' money on this stuff.
How about the excuse of tradition?
Useless. It was traditional.
Children up chimneys 100 years ago doesn't make it okay.
Saying they used to burn Catholics 200 years ago. Traditional for women not to have the vote. I mean, you know.
Couldn't even own a house.
That one as well.
Just because it's been like this for 1,000 years doesn't make it okay for now. We can evolve, we can progress.
Look, I think the crown has a lot of history and impact and clearly brings people along for the journey. And it's why I think that the crown belongs to the people, not a person. Because it's not the monarchy who built this country, it's the hands and grit of the British people who have stood out here in the soil and in the earth, building this country up. And I think it's so important to reflect on that.
We're not here to do any wrong. We're literally just expressing our rights. But in the media, it will be shown probably a lot differently, which is sad.
Well, they're trying to spoil people's fun. Very bad manners.
It's also exciting.
Let other people enjoy themselves. Can't they go and do it tomorrow?
Do you not want to find out why they're trying to spoil your fun?
No.
I totally understand their point.
What do you think about their point?
Well, I think
There's
it's...
a lot more people here up to watch it than there are protesting.
But protesting is fair enough. We are allowed to protest. Yay for the ability to protest.
They just obviously hate the monarchy. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of okay with it because it's what makes Britain Britain. If I'm a tourist, yeah, I'm not going to come to Britain if it hasn't got a monarchy.
It's absolutely disgraceful. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but you don't need to do this. I've got my opinion. I'm not demonstrating. And they're going on about the money. Well, how about the 1.3 billion this is bringing into the country? They'll all want a share of that.
Where did you find out that?
Oh, well, you go on like anyone. They're quoting their figures for what this is costing. In actual fact, the figure they quoted is less than what I've seen. You can look up on the internet. Whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. But you've only got to look round, haven't you, and see how many people have come from abroad here. I think this is disgraceful, utterly disgraceful.
The whole world is here. I'm here. If you abolish the monarchy and you make Brexit, then you become an insignificant country among others. I don't know, a little vassal of US to admire your traditions, your culture, your history. Abolish that, who are you? Just another country. Nobody would talk about you, United Kingdom.
Why spoil it for all the rest of us that have travelled miles to get here? It's ridiculous. I think it's so disrespectful because there's women, there's children, there's elderly here today. And it's the King's Day. They don't have to be here. Stay at home. I mean, I understand protests, but not today. 75 years, it's, you know, history in the making. And this isn't what we want to remember for this day, for our King.
Prince Andrew.
Every family has their challenges, doesn't it? So.
Anyone who supports Prince Andrew needs to take a good look at themselves because he's fucking nonce.
So why is he being broadcasted on live TV?
Exactly. It's a kick in the teeth. They're rubbing your face in it. So, you know, they're on another planet, aren't they? Obviously.
Do you like Prince Andrew?
I'm not going to answer that.
Why do you think he's part of the celebration?
Because it's family. It's a family. Simple.
If one of your family members was a nonce, would you invite him to your Christmas dinner?
No.
Well, apparently you just accept it, right? And just like, and let him get away with it. Invite him to everything. Invite him to the coronation. He'll be on the TV.
My name is Sir Jimmy Savile. I'm a friend of the King. I've come to celebrate my friend ascending to the throne without any question of democracy. I'm also a sweaty nonce.
God save the King.
From what?
Huh?
God save the King from
Respect him. What? What's your problem? God save the King. Why do you want to get rid of him? They're idiots. They're just professional protesters. They all need to get a job, go to work.
Not my King.
I'm doing what you're doing. Just showing my opinion. What's wrong with that? Sorry?
What right do you think he has to become king?
Well, he's in line for the throne, isn't he? So
Well, why is he in line for the throne? Why?
Because his mother died. Have a bit of respect. I don't even know what you are. One of them, I'm not even going to say it because I'll get arrested. Sorry?
Do we live in a democracy?
I think we do, yeah, but it's slowly eroding, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because of the left-wing agenda. But let's see what they've got to say. Why don't you...
Well, I've come here today to protest about the coronation.
How come?
I don't believe that there should be a monarchy. I think we should abolish the monarchy.
I love the royal family. I think they do a hell of a lot for the country. Simple as that. They're a great institution. If they went, I mean, what we're going to end up with? Some president like Biden that can't even speak and walk and talk. You know.
If they went, it wouldn't make any difference. Nobody would notice any difference. Everything would be just the same. What we have is a kind of ornamental monarchy. It's just an ornament for people to stick on their mantelpiece. It doesn't serve any purpose. It's just for appearances, for ceremonial purposes.
It brings a lot of money into the country through tourism and what you see now. There's people from all over the world that have come to see this.
Well, it's not true that it does bring a lot of money into the country. That's been disproved. It's been proved that actually it doesn't bring that much money in, and even if it did, that's not a good reason for having a sort of hereditary monarchy, hereditary privilege, and having family unaccountable for millions and millions of pounds.
That's their prerogative to protest, but they're asking for a democracy, and I thought we lived in a democracy, and that's why they can march up the street shouting that. That's a definition of a democracy, isn't it?
You want a democracy. So democracy is the majority of people here are supporting the king.
Love the royal family.
Not my king! Not my king!
What do you think they believe in?
Not the king.
And he's your king?
Yeah.
Why is he your king?
Because he's a ledge. He's just one of the best royals ever, so...
Okay. What's the most important thing he's done for England?
To be fair, mate, I don't even know myself.
Are you Republican? Anarchist? Yeah.
Did you make that yourself?
Yeah, I did everything myself because of my love toward monarch. Yeah, love him as much as you can love him. Most faithful and humble servant, and be a true ally to His Majesty and his successors according to law. So God help all of us. God help England and God help our king.
This is an easy thing to pick on, isn't it? The royal family. There's a lot going on in society that actually really needs to be unpicked, and that's more political. That's not necessarily about the royal family, that's more about politics, but I don't want to get into politics because it's a real ingrained culture and cycle that we, as in the UK, just can't seem to get out of.
Yeah.
You can shove your coronation up your ass.
That would hurt, don't do that. We believe the king, he is good, he is good. If we didn't have a king, we would have no laws.
Shove your coronation up your ass.
Sorry, ma'am. What can we do?
Coronation up your ass.
Shove who?
The coronation.
I'm going to do that.
It's the best place for it.
Not my king.
Shove your lefty tossers. Shove your lefty tossers up your ass.
Would you shove one of them up your asses?
Well, one of them? I don't even know what they are. What gender? What one? I don't know. If it's a female, well, nothing's going near my bumhole anyway, so there you go.
How do you think we unite everyone then?
This ain't uniting people, is it, this? I think this is quite destructive. It's just taking the joy out of it all, and it's giving negativity.
I don't care, as long as you get a few more drinks, I'm happy.
Is he your king?
Yeah. Fuck off.
Fuck off. A good combination.
Fantastic. He's my king.
We
already have a democracy. That's why you guys can do this.
Don't fucking touch my shit! Because I said so, motherfucker. Not my shit. You aren't even British. Shame! Shame! Shame on you! Andrew's a pedophile! Andrew's a pedophile!
No, they're just the homeless.
Sorry, what?
Just the homeless and the low lifes of the country.
The fact that we can be out here reflecting on what do we want this country to look like. I think it's so important that we always reflect on what we want to see in this world, whether it's dogs, whether it's love, or whether it's how we run this country, because each and every day we have to make a choice. And I think if we make a choice of loveliness, we can live in a world of loveliness as well. Love and the destruction of consumerism.
These people should be executed. They should be in the tower. You don't know their history. Yes, you should be executed. Yeah.
What's your name?
Barbara. No, Diana. I was murdered in the taxi, remember? Killed
Bye.
by a taxi driver in Paris, remember? Car crash.
Could you elaborate?
No.
So what's going to happen to you when you die?
You tell me.
Well, you're going to be judged, aren't you?
By who?
By God.
By the king. By
By the King of Kings. And you remember us on that day, my friend.